Hi again. Welcome to the Playbook. I'm Magubane, and today we're taking a closer look at South Africa's radio scene, a landscape as dynamic and diverse as the people it serves. So, South Africa boasts over 300 radio stations catering to every imaginable audience. These stations fall into three categories, namely public, commercial, and community radio. Public broadcasters like Ukhozi FM, Ikwekwezi FM, and Munganalunene FM deliver content in all official languages, while commercial giants such as 947 and Kaya FM dominate urban market with music and lifestyle content. Community radio, on the other hand, brings grassroots issues to the forefront, giving local voices a platform to shine. Radio continues to thrive in South Africa due to its accessibility, and unlike online streaming platforms, radio is affordable and widely available, reaching over 90% of South Africans weekly. It remains the go-to medium for connection and trust, keeping farmers informed, students entertained, and communities united. Let's now dive deeper into two of the three sectors, starting with public radio. Public broadcast service in South Africa is fully run by the South African Broadcasting Corporation, the SABC, with 19 radio stations under its umbrella, promoting all 11 spoken languages. The SABC still dominates the top 10 spots in the most listened to radio stations in the country, often occupying all 10 spots. Here's an interesting fact. Ukhozi FM is the largest radio station in South Africa, boasting over 7.5 million weekly listeners, according to the BRC Rams. Now that's huge. Let me break it down. South Africa's population is approximately 64.3 million, and Ukhozi FM has a listenership of over 7.5 million. This means that 1 in 8 people listens to Ukhozi FM. And considering that the BRC Rams only surveys people over the ages of 15, this ratio is likely even bigger. But here's what I think is a sad story. The disparity between PBS radio's massive listenership and its inability to generate the highest revenue reflects systematic inequalities in the South African media buying and living standard measurement framework known as socio-economic measure, SEM. Advertisers often prioritize higher LSM or SCM audiences, typically linked to urban and affluent demographics, sidelining PBS radio, which is predominantly rural and lower income audience, despite its massive and huge influence. This unbalanced approach undervalues reaching a vast, culturally significant audience, which points out to the need for a more inclusive advertising model that appreciates diverse market segments. We will dive deeper into this in an upcoming episode of the Playbook when we cover radio advertising. Now, let's turn our attention to commercial radio in South Africa. South Africa's commercial radio space consists of a mix of large and small stations that cater a diverse listener group, contributing to a highly competitive sector. These stations are fully reliant on advertising revenue for survival, and most of them are doing pretty well. Prominent players include Prime Media Broadcasting, which owns 947 and 702 in Gauteng. I don't know why they name stations after frequencies. And Cape Talk and KFM in the Western Cape. Out of the 19 SABC radio stations, 3 are considered to be commercial. These stations are referred to as public commercial service. Complicated. These stations are Metro FM, 5FM, and Good Hope FM, which caters for a unique Cape market. While Metro FM leads in the audience, reaching over 6 million listeners weekly, newer players like MSG Africa, which owns Capricorn FM and Power FM, are also making waves. Capricorn FM, for instance, has gained a significant following in Limpopo, broadcasting in English and very small percentages of indigenous languages, Kasipedi, Chivenda, na Xitsonga. Stations like UFM target the commercial market in the Northwest, while Gagasi FM is one of the largest radio stations outside the SABC, dominating the KZN market. They pretty much own the KZN. You can't mention commercial radio stations in South Africa without mentioning Jacaranda FM, which has consistently maintained its position as one of the country's top commercial stations. Most of us born in the 80s have a Jacaranda FM memory somewhere, somehow. Here's a fact. 947, previously known as Highfield Stereo, was originally owned by the SABC before being acquired by Prime Media Broadcasting in 1996. And as we've seen, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to South Africa's radio landscape, and we'll leave it here for this week. Next week, we'll dedicate an entire episode to the community radio sector, which boasts over 250 stations across the country. Don't miss it. There's plenty more to explore. Here's this week's takeaway. PBS Radio serves as a unifying force in a diverse nation. However, it faces challenges such as revenue generation, an unfunded mandate, and the need to adapt to digital trends while maintaining its inclusive mission. Remember, every frequency tells a story. Share your favorite radio memories in the comments down below. I'll catch you next week for another colorful page of Magubane's Radio Playbook. Until next time, when the radio is on, it's always a good day to have a great day.